Hi everybody, welcome to All Things AIRGUN. I'm Donnie Reed, and today will be my full review of the RWS 34 and 177 caliber. Stay tuned. Well everybody, when I recorded that intro, it was about 9 o'clock in the morning. It is now about 20 after 6 p.m. and I have been shooting all day. I have at least 500 pellets through this rifle today, and I recorded some of it, not all of it, and I wish I did record all of it because some of my best groups were not recorded. The wind was really funny today. It's blowing roughly northwest, and that's at about 10 miles an hour according to the weatherman. But we had a smidge of rain, and with it came some greater winds, and they were gusting every bit of 20 miles an hour. So it's a shame that, like I said, I didn't record all day. But what I have to show you is impressive nonetheless. Impressive is the word I would use to describe this rifle, as well as many others. This is the recent version of the RWS 34 with the T06 trigger. And wow, my trigger is still all stock. I adjusted it, but I haven't done it. I haven't polished the sears. I haven't greased it or anything like that. I've done nothing except turn the screws according to the user's manual, and I am just in shock. This trigger is advertised at 3.3 pounds, and there's no way it's that high. I don't have a trigger pull gauge, unfortunately, but my calibrated finger says it's more like 2. The way it came was okay, but I have, well, basically I turned the middle screw. They call this the rough break or fine break or something like that. And what it does is shorten the second stage. You can either, turn it clockwise or counterclockwise. One way you have less first stage and more second stage travel. And the other way you have more first stage travel and less second stage travel. And that's the way I like it. I like a solid, I like a light but deliberate first stage, and the length of it, the longer the better, honestly, in my opinion. I use it to kind of calibrate my force vector when I'm pulling the trigger. I watch the scope and see which way am I pulling, But then I like a solid wall, and then just a little more effort, but a deliberate amount of effort to break the second stage. But I want it to break like a 1911, like a glass rod. You just, you're holding the rod, and then that's what I like. And that's exactly how I have this adjusted. Now, I am going to do a trigger job myself. I'm gonna, polish some things and whatnot, have a look in there. But as it is the best Springer, brake barrel, gas piston, any of those, however you classify them, they're all Springers to me. I don't want to get into that gas piston is a spring argument right now, but so far as brake barrel rifles of any sort, that is the best trigger I have ever used. And not just the best of junk, it is a good trigger. I would be happy with that trigger on any rifle. This is the 177 caliber. I'll give you some specifications here via the Pyramid Air website. Maximum velocity is listed at 1,000 feet per second. The lightest pellet I fired through here, through the chronograph, was the AirArms 7.33 grain pellets. I did not weigh or sort those. Actually, I didn't weigh or sort any of them for the chronograph testing, and it's so impressive that I'm not gonna waste my sorted pellets just to prove the point here. I needed them for target testing today, but regardless, the velocity is advertised at 1,000 feet per second. With the 7.33 grain AirArms pellet, I believe it was a 970 foot per second average, which is right there. That's right there. So, you know, assuming a lighter 7 grain pellet, it's going to be right there around 1,000 feet per second. So I'm going to call that good enough, if not right on. It's advertised at a medium loudness, 3 on the Pyramid Air scale. I'll agree to that. It's not loud. It's backyard friendly. I've been shooting it in the backyard here. The barrel length is 19 inches, and that barrel is beautiful. The crown, the breech, everything about it that I can see is perfect. I mean, picture perfect. No defects. The crown is beautiful. I just can't say enough good about that barrel. Advertised overall length is 45 inches. It's an average sized Springer. You know, it's not huge. It's not small. It's right in the middle. It's average, you know. Cocking effort, 33 pounds. My measurements, I did measure it with a bathroom scale. I was right about there, about 32 pounds, 31, you know. See here, it does have fiber optic sights. It does have a, what do you call that, a globe, whatever, a protector over the front sight post. The rear is micro click adjustable, and I mean micro click, man. That is nice. That's a nice rear sight. It's not your average Chinese, you know, rear sight. And about that, this is a real German gun. It's stamped, made in Germany. Let's see here, 11 millimeter dovetail, and it does have provisions for scope stops, as well as a screw in the back, which I guess accommodates a peep sight, which I'm gonna have to look into. I love peep sights. I might do that to this rifle. Butt plate is plastic, yeah, whatever, you know, I don't care. The trigger pull advertised at 3.3 pounds, and it has to be less than that. It's just, it has to be. It's beautiful. Weight is listed at 7.5 pounds. It is a heavy rifle, and when I say that, I don't mean it's, you know, enormous or anything, but it's substantial. It feels substantial in your hands. It feels good in your hands. The rifle is hold sensitive. You will have to use the artillery hold to fire this rifle accurately, but the weight helps to mitigate a lot of the recoil. Obviously, you know, F equals MA, and the M soaks up the A. So the feel is fantastic. The stock itself, I believe, is beech, and it's not the prettiest thing in the world, you know. It's very plain. There's no checkering or anything like that. It's not a beautiful grain, but it is handsome, and a lot of that has to do with the bluing and the finish of the metal before they blue. I've blued a lot of things. The higher the polish before you blue something, the more luster the rifle will exhibit after you blue it. This is, without a doubt, the most beautiful bluing I have ever seen on a Springer, maybe on any air rifle. It's astounding. I mean, the thing is gorgeous. I don't think the iPhone camera I'm using can pick it up well enough, but in real life, when you look at this, you just see quality. I have the RWS drooper mount on here, and I have the center point 4:16 by 40 adjustable objective, illuminated reticle mil-dot scope, and this rifle is worthy of a better scope. Once we get to the accuracy part of this, and I am not the most accurate Springer guy in the world. I've shot Springers my whole life, but never to the level of accuracy that I'm getting out of this rifle. And I don't know if that has to do with the rifle or if I'm learning or what, or both, but I'm telling you, regardless of what you see here, this rifle could do better in more experienced hands. Somebody that's shot nothing but Springers for the last 60 years, I'm sure could get better results out of this than I can. And this rifle is more accurate than me, is what I'm saying. But it deserves a better scope. The one I have does a good enough job, but I mean, wow, man. I seriously might use this rifle for field target. I'm that accurate with it, at least preliminarily. My preliminary testing is astounding. I'd need a lot of practice before taking this out to a match, but I might do that. This rifle, aside from the plastic butt cap here, the trigger guard is plastic. That doesn't bother me, but it would be cool if it was a metal trigger guard. I'm just a wood and metal kind of guy if I can afford it. But the front sight is also plastic. Rear sight, I think, is also plastic too. But even though that is the case, this rifle just exudes quality. Quality is what you think when you see and touch this rifle. It's selling for $329.99 on Pyramid Air and most other places right around that price point. This is a used one, by the way, very mildly used, that I have here, and thank you very much to the person responsible for this. But anyway, the quality, when you cock this rifle, you feel the quality of the gun. But when you close the barrel, you're sure of it. This rifle, when you cock it, it doesn't just flop loosely after you cock it. You have to very deliberately use force to close this rifle. And I don't mean like it's broken, I mean like you're closing a bank vault. That's the simile I've heard other people use, and I agree. When you shut that barrel, that breech, when you close it up, it does feel like you are latching $1 million safe or something like that. I have never felt one that felt that good in my life. It's really just amazing. Everything about the rifle is impressive. The safety is automatic back here. It might be the least impressive feature. After you use it for a while, it's not that bad, but I tend to use my trigger finger to turn it off more than my thumb. It's just easier for me. But turning it back on It's not cocked right now, so you can't pull it on. But it's just not quite as ergonomic as it potentially could be. But don't let that, scare you. It's still very easy in a hunting situation. It's quiet and easy to reach from the firing position. Even though, like I said, for me it's easier to use my trigger finger than my thumb. But anyway, the pellets I used to test this rifle were all AIRGUN pellets. And just to give you the heavy two, the AIRGUN 10.3 grain and the AIRGUN 8.4 grain were the most impressive. The 10.3s averaged just over 800 feet per second out of this rifle, and the 8.4s were just over 900 feet per second out of this rifle, which is right where I want to be. And I did a lot of shooting today, like I said, and I settled, I think, on the 8.4 grain AIRGUNs for this rifle. I'll show you the Coronagraph results here. You can take a look at them. And like I said, these are unsorted pellets. The ones I shot for accuracy were all sorted. For the Corona testing, these are all unsorted, straight out of the tin. And it's so impressive that I'm just gonna leave that for the purpose of this video. And here you go, have a look at that. How about that, huh? Standard deviation of about 3 feet per second with the 10.3 and the 8.4. And that's unsorted. Sure, it's less than that now if I was to shoot the sorted ones over it. And I will eventually. I'm just going to wait till I have more of them. But, yeah, that's impressive. Very impressive. Both to address the claimed feet per second and just the general spread. Now the accuracy testing, like I said, I wish I would have recorded everything all day long here, and unfortunately I didn't. But what I'll show you first is a 5-shot group at 33 yards, just about 30 meters exactly. Which is coincidentally my zero. That's where I'm going to zero this rifle. This group was, like I said, 5 shots. You'll see holes all over the place, but I was using this target over and over for a million things, and different pellets, different head sizes, different dopes. I did play with the knobs a little bit here. But what you'll see is a 5-shot group, 33 yards, shot from the same position that you saw me shoot in the intro. Only actually I didn't use the big pad. I ended up using the back pad and just resting just like this. This is precisely how I shot all of those groups. Have a look. How about that? Like I said, I'm not a Springer guy. I mean, you know, I can shoot a Springer good enough, but not like that. Not usually. Um, this rifle is incredibly accurate, and that size group was not uncommon. Off camera, I got several that were about the same, and you know, I'm still learning how to shoot this and everything. I've got about 1,000 pellets through it now, but wow, I'm just astounded by that. Now, this 50-yard accuracy testing I did, the wind had really picked up. I'm pretty sure you can hear it in the iPhone, even though it has a feature that tries to block the wind noise. You can still hear it and see it. But the 3 shots here were the best 3 all day. Off camera, and I don't want to show you any off camera groups. I don't think it's honest enough. You know, anybody could show you anything, but I just like to have it on video for you to see me do it. But off camera, the rough average size group at 50 yards was sub 3/4 inch before the wind got all screwy. A couple were right at about 1/2 of an inch. If you watch, now this group I'm going to show you, the total ends up being about 0.98 inches, but it was wind. The wind did that. You can see it in the video, you can hear it, but the first 3 shots went practically in the same hole at 50 yards, man. And the wind was blowing left to right, and you can see one of them went so far, one of them went, you know, not quite as far. But like I said, the reason I'm showing you that group is because of the first 3 in it. If the wind wasn't blowing, man, that was going to be a 3/8 inch 50-yard group. But you know, the chips fall where they may. The wind was blowing, there's nothing I can do, and I'm not embarrassed. I'm not embarrassed. I would still say that's a good 50-yard group in the wind, you know. But have a look. I know. You watched those first 3 and went, wow. And then the 4th one you said, oh, just like I did. And then the 5th shot was a little closer, but what can you do? But anyway, I think the point is made. This is an incredibly accurate spring powered, and I mean legitimate metal spring powered break barrel air rifle. It is without question the most accurate break barrel I have ever fired, whether metal coil or gas spring. It's incredible, and it's exactly what I want in a break barrel rifle. Yeah, it could be a little fancier if it didn't have the plastic trigger guard, and, you know, that's about it really. A little less plastic, and you know, oh, actually, what did they say? They call this the Classic, the RWS 34 Classic, and it is. It's very classic, and It's their best-selling, actually. Their best-selling rifle, RWS. It's the best-selling rifle, and it's obvious why. You can pick these up used for like under 200 bucks sometimes, or right at 200 bucks any day of the week. And wow, man, for 200 bucks you can't get a, what is it, that Umrex Octane? You know, that's no. You know, these other $200 Chinese rifles, no. If you have 200 bucks and you want a break barrel rifle, there you go, man. I don't have much, actually I have no experience other than this for German spring rifles. But if this is what a German Springer is like, then sign me up, man. Sign me up. This is the bottom of the barrel for German rifles. Are you kidding me, man? Wow. Anyway, I hope you understand my enthusiasm and forgive me a little bit, but I am legitimately, incredibly impressed with this rifle. Now the fun begins. I'm going to play with it. I'm going to tune it. I'm going to do a little trigger work. I'm going to do some work on the internals here. I might do the Vortex kit for it. I'm not sure yet. Something along those lines. Luckily, I have some good friends in the airgun industry who help advise me in these matters, and I've already got some great advice. Thank you very much again. Who I got the rifle from. Thank you, you know who you are, about the advice on you know, the Loctiting and how to tighten the screws and everything. You know, thank everybody, and thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. We'll see you next time.